If you feel like you stuck in the same cycle, the same paradigm, and it's hard for you to break out, this video is for you. This video gonna be based on a newsletter I wrote some weeks ago titled The Construction of the Mental Prison and How to Escape. There was a quote I heard some time ago, and I ended up saving it on my phone and using it as like a profile pic for one of my profiles. And the quote says, "You are confined by the walls you build yourself." So when we think about prison, right? Prison, you got these concrete walls, you got these steel bars, right? And you like enclosed in this real tight space. And the physical reality is nothing but a projection of the mental and spiritual reality. So if you closed in this tight space, your mental is only going to be able to think so far. Your spirit is only going to be able to elevate so far, right? Because this is all you see 23 hours in a day if you in actual prison, right? But a lot of people are in a mental prison more than they are in a physical prison. And it holds them back from reaching their fullest potential. And it holds them back from having some substantial growth, right? I know me for myself, it was a point in time where I felt like I was doing the same thing every single day, and I felt like I wasn't making no progress. It was just a continual cycle. And after that continual cycle, even though you may be doing things, but you're doing the same things and you're getting the same results. So eventually it starts to get boring, and that boredom starts to turn into depression. It starts to turn into self-hatred, right? Because you taking the analysis of your life and you realizing, man, you the same person you was a month ago. You the same person you was 6 months ago, a year ago. You feel me? We, as individuals, establish mental prisons when we submit our minds to negative thinking, emotions, and beliefs. It's not until we establish the frequency of positive thinking, emotions, and beliefs that we can begin to break free from this prison. Until then, we view freedom through the gates of affliction. From my experience, oftentimes what establishes the mental prison is the limitations you set on yourself, right? Like a lot of us when we kids, we have like the most grandest, biggest dreams, bro. Like dreams that seem impossible. You feel me? But we kids and we don't know no better, and it's our imagination. It just run wild. But until you learn how powerful your imagination is and that your imagination is real and it can be made real in your actual life, you wouldn't take that time for granted. But of course, we were kids, right? And you get older and you start to hear people put limitations on you. Oh man, only 1% make it doing that. Only 10 people, 10 out of 100 people be successful doing this, that, and the third, right? Oh, you should do something more safe. You should go to school. You should get a good job and whatsoever. And that starts to kill your dreams as a man and as a woman, right? And that itself establishes a self-image about you. Like, man, I'm probably not good enough. Maybe I should take the safe route. Maybe I should just go get me a regular job and be humble and okay about it. You feel me? And I believe that's the complete wrong way to look at it, because as individuals, we have so much potential. Like we literally can do anything. Like let's think about the greats or people that were very honorable and admirable. Let's say Jesus, right? People gonna get mad when I say this, but this is the truth. Jesus, there was nothing special about Jesus, bro. There was nothing special about Jesus. What was special about Jesus is that he had a definite purpose. He had a definite direction that he wasn't gonna sway from. He wanted to be one with God and serve God's people, and that's it. Right? But there's a Jesus version of ourselves in every individual. And it's possible to tap into. If anybody's ever heard of quantum physics or quantum mechanics or whatever you would like to call it, and people talk about infinite realities, right? And basically infinite realities is that There's an infinite amount of versions of yourself. There's a version of yourself that's a garbage man. There's a version of yourself that's a businessman. There's a version of yourself that's a car salesman. Like whatever you could think of is infinite, right? And these versions of yourself can become real in this reality if you focus on it and put your attention towards it, right? And act as if it's already happening. There's another quote I put into the newsletter from the book As a Man Thinketh. I highly recommend y'all read that book. If he will dig deep into the mind of his soul, that he is the maker of his character, the molder of his life, and the builder of his destiny, he may unerringly prove if he will watch, control, and alter his thoughts, tracing their effects upon himself, upon others, and upon his life and circumstances, linking cause and effect by patient practice and investigation, and utilizing his every experience, even the most trivial, everyday occurrence, as a means of obtaining that knowledge of himself, which is understanding, wisdom, and power. But that quote is so powerful because, like I was talking about before, these limiting beliefs that's been established early in our life, it's not until we go back and we get an understanding of how these beliefs were implanted in us and the results that these beliefs have made, right? And once we figure that out, we can change the whole trajectory of our life. A lot of us may think we're not good enough to be someone of high status. But you can change that around and be like, man, I deserve to be someone of high status. I'm a great person. I'm constantly evolving, right? I can do all things with God. And you change that belief into something positive and constructive. And guess what? You change the results. Now, since you have that belief, you don't do the same things no more. You don't think the same things no more. You don't want the same things no more. That person that don't got no belief in themselves and feel like they not good enough, guess what? They getting trampled on wherever they go, whether it's in school, whether it's their job, whether it's their family, whether it's their relationship, they're getting trampled on. And they're going to keep getting trampled on because that's their belief. That's their belief. That's what they accept about themselves. So the universe is only going to feed them that reality. So of course, when you do the opposite will happen. Now it's simple. It sounds very simple, and it is simple. But it's not something that's an overnight process. Like it said in the quote, it takes patient practice and investigation. This has to be a continual thing that never stops. Like when people talk about positive thinking and stuff like that, that has to be something that's going on every day. There has to be a constant self-checking every single day. Man, am I thinking positive thoughts? Am I thinking positive beliefs about myself? And if I'm not, all right, let me change this around. Let me go back to the drawing board. Let me meditate. Let me do something to get me back in my powerful state to where I'm thinking these great things about myself, right? And your environment is powerful, bro. Your environment is powerful. Your environment is the reason that you think the way you think right now. But I want to tell you, you have the power to establish your own environment. Once you realize that an environment has been placed on you and it wasn't your doing, and you have the power to completely change the environment to whatever you want it to be, now the real work is here. Now the real work can be done. Okay, let's pinpoint. Okay, I don't like this because this produces this. Okay, bet. I'm going to work on that. I'm going to change that. I'm going to research that. I'm going to look into that. Okay, this food makes me feel this type of way. I don't want to feel this type of way no more. Let me take this out of my diet and put this in and see how this makes me feel. Right? Now the real work has started. Once you realize that, I don't like this. I don't like this life. I don't like the fact that I'm stuck in this same cycle of stagnation. I want to grow. I want to do different things. I want to feel different. Insanity is thinking the same things and thinking that life is going to change when you have done nothing different. You're doing the same things. So you have to figure out what works for you. I can't tell you all the specifics on what's going to work for you because I don't know you, right? I only know myself. So I know what worked for me. And it's up to you to take that patient practice and take that time and sacrifice to figure out what works for me. What is going to help me align with the reality I want for myself. That's it. And then you just spend every day doing just that. A mental prison is designed to restrict you indefinitely. Escaping it requires consistent and intentional effort. The longer we remain trapped, the more we signal to the universe that we're unwilling to make the proper corrections to our thinking. We will remain stuck until we correct every error in our mental framework. And this is a quote from the Bible in Matthew 5, verses 25-26. And this goes right along with that paragraph I just read. Agree with your adversary quickly while you are on the way with him, lest your adversary deliver you to the judge hand you over to the officer, and you be thrown into prison. Assuredly, I say to you, you will by no means get out of there till you have paid the last penny. Now, I believe a lot of people make the mistake of reading the Bible literally and taking it and surface value. Oh, it says this, so it has to mean this. Like when it's talking about the judge, oh, they talking about a real judge. Or when it's talking about you'll be thrown into prison, they talking about an actual prison, right? But we have to always go deeper. We have to always go deeper. It's never going to lay on the surface level. When it's talking about agree with your adversary, right? I believe that means accept your imperfect self. Accept the lower version of yourself, the state that you're in right now, right? And that lower version of yourself is going to lead you to that judge, that self-analysis. And when it leads you to that self-analysis, you're going to realize that you have been stuck in this prison that you established. And you won't get out of this prison until you have paid every last penny, as it says in there. I say that, I interpret that as until you have learned every lesson you need to learn in order to move forward. Right? Like I was saying, pinpointing what works and what doesn't work for you specifically. Once you figure out what works and what doesn't work, what you want and what you don't want, you won't be in your mental prison no more. It'll be gone. Some of y'all may think I'm playing or I'm bullshitting about that. I'm being so serious. I'm being so serious. I've done this. Once I pinpointed what I didn't want and what I did want, what I didn't like and what I do like, my mental prison was over with because there's no more wondering. There's no more aimlessness. There's no more stagnant cycle because I know what I want and I know what I don't want, right? And there's a million ways to get to one destination. All you got to do is pick which one makes more sense to you, that you're more interested in, that aligns with who you are as a person. We're all different and unique, and there's a route for everybody. You can never take days off from loving yourself, guarding your mind from negativity, speaking life and not death, and expanding your vision and elevating your experience, bro. That's one of the realest things I ever wrote on my life. That's one of the realest things I ever wrote. You can't take no days off. Like, you can't be lazy when it comes to loving yourself, elevating your life, manifesting your dream reality, bro. You can't take no days off. You can't. This is an everyday thing. This is your job as a human. As humans, we all have a unique purpose, and we all been put here to fulfill that purpose. And everybody's purpose is different, and it's not for you to understand the next person's purpose. That's on them. But your purpose, you can't take no breaks from it, because it's a constant molding. It's a constant process, and you just getting shaped and carved every single day till you come out to this perfect figure. And not perfect as in it's all good and there's no kinks. Perfect as in sure and poised and calm and relaxed in who you are and who you're becoming. That's what I mean by perfect. Right? Life gonna continue to throw you all types of ways. But once you're sure with yourself and who you are, life can throw whatever it wants at you. But your state mentally and spiritually, you stay the same. Because you know who you are, you know who you're becoming, and you know that you're all powerful with God. And if you're all powerful with God, there's no challenge, there's no adversity that can ever beat you, overcome you, or there's no problem that's bigger than you are. And once you change that belief about yourself and establish that, man, the mountain is you. Once you climb that mountain and you're okay with being imperfectly yourself and knowing that you're constantly evolving, that's it. That's it. That's it. You don't have to you don't have to feel ashamed no more. You don't have to feel guilty no more, right? You don't have to feel like you're not doing enough, because you understand it's a constant process. It's an everyday thing. And it's not up to you to decide what time. It's not up to you to decide what time it's going to happen. That's up to God. That's out of your control. But what's in your control is what you do right now in this reality, what you do every day. You make that decision. Don't nobody else make that decision for you. I don't care what type of situation you in. Now, I'm going to wrap up the video with a process. In all my newsletters, I write a process. And for this newsletter specifically, I'm going to leave the link down below if you want to read the full newsletter. Number 1, list out all the limiting beliefs you have about yourself. Keep this list visible. It's important to never forget what specifically is holding you back. 2, write another list of what you want your life to look like and what you don't want it to look like. Be brutally honest with both. This is your life, so you have to be specific. You have to be honest. You feel me? Don't take the moral route and be like, oh, and take the super humble route, like, oh, I just want this, that. What do you really want? You feel me? What do you really want? Because you can have it. 3, identify 5 to 10 specific actions you can start doing to create the life you desire. Examples: reading more books, building a side business, exploring new income streams, taking nature walks, going to the gym, etc. 4, start practicing today. Never stop. Only expand on what you can do to bring that reality to life. It's going to get hard. It's going to get tough because you're changing paradigms, and that's a tough thing to do. But don't stop. Only expand and improve the process. And that's it for this video, YouTube. I hope y'all gain benefit and value from this. If you did, leave me a like, comment, and subscribe. Talk to me in the comment section. Like, what are some things that y'all struggling with? I would love to chop it up with y'all. You feel me? And we just gonna keep going. We gonna keep elevating, bro. And I want y'all to continue to elevate, and we all elevate together. This is not an individual thing. This is a community thing. This is a worldwide thing. We should all be improving ourselves, because when we improve ourselves, we improve our family, we improve our loved ones, We improve this world that we living in. We improve these systems once we improve ourselves. And that's it for this video, man. I'm wishing y'all blessings, happiness, joy, peace, all of those great things. And catch me in the next video. Peace, family.